Okay, so picture this. You wake up one morning and the world is just completely unrecognizable.
Unrecognizable.
Yeah, I mean, continents are shattered. Cities are in ruins. It's like something out of, well, it's like Shattered Earth by Rock Jane.
Exactly.
And that's where we're going to dive into today. The world that Rock Jane created in Shattered Earth.
A world.
Yeah, but we're not just looking at the, surviving the disaster part.
Right.
It's more about how people come together and adapt and that strength of the human spirit.
Resilience in the
Yeah.
face of total devastation.
Right, exactly. Resilience. So how about we just jump right in? What do you think?
Let's do it.
Okay, so one of the things that really struck me about this book was how the author just throws us right into this chaotic world.
Yeah, no time wasted.
Right, like we don't really get a whole lot of backstory about what caused the disaster.
No, it's not about that.
We're just there with the survivors trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, we're thrown right into the thick of it, right alongside them.
It's exactly experiencing the aftershocks and the struggle for basic, food and water and shelter.
Just the immediate needs.
Yeah, and trying to find some kind of safety in this completely transformed world.
And it's that search for safety that really drives a lot of the early conflict in the book.
Because how do you even begin to find safety when the landscape itself is constantly shifting?
Right, and that's what makes it so unsettling.
It's like just when you think you found a stable place.
Another aftershock hits.
Yeah, or you discover that the ground is literally crumbling beneath you.
Exactly. There's this scene early on where a group of survivors thinks they found a safe haven.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
It's an old abandoned mine.
Uh-huh.
They think it's going to protect them from the elements.
Right?
But then they discover that the tunnels are unstable.
Oh no.
And it's just riddled with, hidden crevasses.
So their supposed safe haven actually turns into like a death trap.
Yeah, and that just emphasizes how everything is so precarious in this new world.
And that feeling of uncertainty, I think
Yeah.
it really feeds into the whole trust issue that runs throughout the book.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you can't just assume that the people around you are going to have your back.
Right, because everyone is just desperate to survive.
I'm thinking about that scene where one of the characters, I think his name is Mark.
Mark, yeah.
He finds this stash of supplies.
Canned food medicine.
Yeah. But he decides to keep it a secret from the rest of the group.
Yeah, because he's afraid they'll take it from him.
Right. And that decision, it has huge consequences down the line.
Well, yeah, because it just erodes that little bit of trust that they had managed to build.
Exactly. And it makes everyone even more suspicious of each other.
Which is the last thing you need in a situation like that.
So you've got this incredibly dangerous environment. And then you add in the breakdown of trust.
That's a recipe for disaster.
It makes you wonder how anyone can actually lead in a world like this.
That's a good question.
Like, what qualities would a leader even need in a situation like that?
It's definitely not about brute force.
No, not at all.
Or like that classic charismatic leader type.
Right.
It's more about being adaptable, being resourceful.
And being able to think on your feet.
Exactly. And I think Maya's a great example of that.
Yeah, she's kind of a quiet leader.
Yeah, she doesn't command attention.
That she's incredibly observant.
She notices things that other people miss.
Like that time she found the source of fresh water.
Right. She saw those tiny little wildflowers growing in the rubble.
Yeah, and she realized that they must indicate that there's water nearby.
And that discovery, it basically saved the group.
It's like she sees possibility where other people just see destruction.
Exactly. And I think that's a really crucial quality for a leader in this kind of situation.
To be able to see the potential for a new beginning, even when everything seems lost.
Yeah, because it's not just about surviving, it's about rebuilding.
Right, and in that sense, Maya's leadership is about more than just finding resources.
It's about inspiring hope.
And I think that's what makes her such a compelling character.
She's not just trying to survive, she's trying to create a future.
And that leads us to another really important aspect of the book, the idea of different people coming together.
Yeah, the diversity of the group.
Each person brings their own unique skills and perspective.
And that's what allows them to rebuild.
Think about David the engineer.
Oh yeah, he's all about practicality.
Right, but then he starts incorporating art into their structures.
Making them beautiful.
Yeah, it's like even in the midst of all this chaos and destruction, there's still this human need for beauty.
It's that reminder that we're not just surviving, we're living.
And that desire to connect with each other. I think that's really at the heart of the book.
Absolutely. It's what gives them the strength to keep going.
Like there's that scene where two characters who are completely different.
Like oil and water.
Yeah, they have to work together to rescue a child.
Trapped in the rubble.
And in that moment, their differences just melt away.
All that matters is saving the child.
Right. And that's what the book ultimately shows us, that even in a shattered world,
Humanity can still shine through.
That even in the face of unimaginable loss, there's still hope for connection and compassion and resilience.
It's a powerful message.
So Shattered Earth, it's not just a bleak survival story.
It's about the power of the human spirit.
And it really makes you think about what you would do in a similar situation.
Like, what strengths would you bring to the group?
Would it be practical skills or maybe the ability to connect with others?
Or something totally unexpected.
Yeah, it's a question worth pondering.
Because it tells us a lot about how we see ourselves and what we value.
So if you're looking for a book that will stay with you long after you finish reading it,
And make you think about the world in a new way.
then definitely check out Shattered Earth.
You won't regret it.
It's a truly unforgettable story.
And a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope.
That's a great note to end on.
I think so.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive,
My pleasure.
and we'll see you next time.
Sounds good. Bye. Bye.